that meeting. I'm usually, being the chairman, the last to see the agenda, and I spaced it. So that agenda was definitely not as specific as it should have been.
And I have a question about that meeting in particular. It's my understanding that a representative from the doctors, or somebody who worked for the doctors, I'm not sure the exact relationship, but a woman was here who talked about the hospital issue. Is that correct? My question is, how did that person know to be here if it wasn't on the agenda?
You'll have to ask her that. I have no idea.
So nobody, as far as you know, from the commission said anything? Or
I have no knowledge of that, Mr. Rubin. We often have people drop in to our meetings with questions, and we try to, it's a balancing act. We try to guide them toward the public comment period, and sometimes their schedule and whatever is such that that we, someone will show up and we'll hear what they have to say, and when perhaps it's a stretch of the agenda. We try to be accommodating. Our effort is to be specific on the agenda, and I believe if you look back over previous meetings, you'll find that's the case. We list categories, but we try to list detail under those categories.
Sure.
And as far as that particular one is concerned, we didn't do that. I didn't do that. And I have no idea. We have people drop into our meetings all the time.
Well, you got to understand how it looks to us. The big issue today was discussed at a meeting that wasn't on the agenda, and then somebody showed up to talk about that. So the appearance is that they knew about it. To us.
I can't always control your perception.
No, I understand that. But in Kirsten Rubish's letter to us, she did say, and this is her speaking, not me, but it was in her letter to us that we published, that John had met with the doctors the day before and talked about this issue, that was said at that meeting.
You've got an advantage over me, Mr. Little. I didn't read the letter. I haven't been reading the paper lately, so I missed that.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You have a lot of news in the paper these days.
Can I say something?
Yeah, let's stick here.
Okay. Another point or another issue I want to bring up is it's been out in the public now, and this relates to open meetings and meeting notices and everything else, is the November quote-unquote meeting where the three of you and the clerk came to my office and had some pretty tough words for me.
As you did for us.
Well, I didn't initiate it, so, my morals were called into question. And basically, the gist of that meeting, and as far as I'm concerned, we as a newspaper are concerned, that was an illegal meeting because you came in and you talked about, let me read off my notes here.
Mr. Little, could I comment? That matter is under investigation, and I think it's inappropriate for us to, you're certainly welcome to comment, but it's inappropriate for us to comment on it.
Okay, well, I will comment on it.
That matter is under investigation.
Because you came in and basically, the gist of it was you said, I'm printing rumors and it's making the commission look bad. From our perspective, we're discussing county business. Then, at a subsequent meeting in this room, with one of our reporters here in this room, you said you came to welcome me to town. Well, that was a pretty tough welcome as far as I'm concerned. And I will give you credit. You and John both have talked to me and said, you regretted what happened at that meeting, and I appreciate that. Here's my point. My point is this. You came in and I don't know quite the proper word you used, but your point was, I was spreading rumors and that's making you look bad. Then, at the January 31st meeting, John said that word around town was that I wouldn't be here for a year. So that's talking rumors. So, you know, which way is it? So I just wanted to get that, out of the open. And then the final point, because I know you don't want to comment on that since it is being looked into. My final point is, are there other such meetings like this which have taken place? And, when were they, and is that a practice of yours? And that's really the points I wanted to make. I mean, my main point here is, we just want the law followed. And I agree with you, Kimber, we've talked that the newspaper wants what's best for the community as well as you. We're working hard to be a local news newspaper, be a concert, sports, whatever. We're working really hard on that, so.
Can I ask one question? How strict do you want this law followed? Do you want it, as I read through the Idaho open meeting law, we don't have to have public comment, which we do. We're fairly informal in here. If one of your reporters has a question, we acknowledge him. It's not on the agenda. Do you want us to continue to do that, or should we not?
That's your decision, not mine.
No, you're the one that's calling us on it.
I'm calling you on.
What would your preference be?
I'm calling you on what goes on the agendas. That's what we're here for. I'm here for.
Because we can stop that, and we can.
That's your decision. It's not mine.
Anything else, Mr. Little?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I appreciate your time. Thanks. Did you have a good trip to Utah?
Pardon?
Did you have a good trip to Utah?
Had a great trip.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm going in a couple weeks.
down one day and back the next.
Thank you.
And